Yo, what's popping? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to the MC family. Hope everybody's doing well. Sending a lot of blessings your way. I hope you have a good, solid, productive day today. Keep your eyes on the prize, stay focused, and remain solid. That's the mantra you should live. Well, actually, that's not the mantra. The following is the mantra you should live for. Every day, man, when you wake up early in the morning, when you're on your way to work, before you're about to start an assignment, before you're about to get into whatever it is you got to get into, or you got to take care of for the day. And even when you're setting short-term goals and long-term goals, man, always keep the following mantra in mind. Challenge yourself and dare yourself to be great. Again, dare to be great. One of my favorite boxing champions told me that one. Let's go. Oh, this shit's acting up again. Hold up a second, y'all. I have to go to plan B in this bitch. Bear with me, y'all. Y'all joining me for a little road trip. You heard? That's how we're gonna do this. East side. West Coast. Get close, shake it. Yeah. Lazo coming from the Homage Ties DR. We got our flags hanging from the stoplights. Midnight coming from the King's Bridge. Dutch guns fire. We green and broken English. A lot to talk about. Crazy weekend when it came to this boxing and UFC shit. It was a huge time robbery that took place last Saturday night over that Showtime pay-per-view. We'll get into that bitch in a few. Y'all already know. No. Mics every weekend, burn down the T-step, learn from the ancients. Might probably want smoke walls, Detroit 8 man, and I make bitch ass cats avoid stages. Cut a nigga short, make all the way his legs red. Plus I spit that fire like I've been in CAG. You just using this, I contaminated tape. Just the place for these saturated eggs. Good morning. Hope you're doing well, love. Salute to you. Yo, let's set off the tone right. I ain't talking about. Let's go. I know some of y'all definitely know the bars for this shit, especially Capadonna's verse. My man D Grant's Perfect Timing Podcast in the building. Hey, yo, Eve, if you're still here, man, that's my man D Grant's Perfect Timing Podcast. Yo, my man got the best show on YouTube out right now. Definitely go check that out. Go check him out and subscribe to the brother, man. He got some dope-ass content. Wake and bake, that's what I'm talking about. Yes, this shit is all coming at your dope. Scream out loud. Who's back for? Yes, the hour's full. I told you before. Prepare for mic fight and plus the Cold War. This rhyme is digest through the RZA console. Axe why slam not diagram pole. Big one drop the bomb, hunchback. Hold your dog, hold your dog. We're gonna get into a few conversations. Mainstream be the theme, supreme team. Some big things happened this Saturday in the UFC world. A huge robbery took place Saturday night on Showtime pay-per-view. My man Perfect Timing Podcast was in the chat during that one. And some other shit I want to discuss too. Yo, Carcino for life. I gotta talk to you, my man. Yo, Carcino for life. I gotta talk to you, man. My world was fun. Check it. Rags boy. Gonna give it a few for the room to fill up. shit like one. We freestyle, sharper than the Indian spit. Let the king explore. Describing the kid's nights and he holds swords in his name. Like attacking her like my brain. For more games than beggars on trains. Living sharp pain, poisonous weapon like death. You can't destroy this. You can ambush me. Try to avoid this. Yo, again, yo, blessings to all of y'all, man. Hope you're having a productive, solid day. If possible, add this mantra to your 30 clip, man. This is something I live by. This is something that I try to preach and give on to others, man. Dare to be great. Challenge yourself and dare to be great. Whether it's setting up a short-term goal, a long-term goal, whether it's any affirmations you're trying to set forward and actually focus on, whether it's in your career. When it comes to a career and a job, always keep in mind there is no such thing as a dead-end job unless you allow it to be. Every job, regardless of where it is in the totem pole, every job is an opportunity to climb the ladder. If you deem where you are as a dead-end job, that means you have decided to turn the blind eye to the ladder before you set up the ladder that's been bestowed upon you. Always keep that in mind. And again, dare to be great. As we all know, man, a lot of people don't talk about the following, man. So I'm going to talk about it because it pertains to me and a lot of other people that I know. But a lot of people don't talk about education on here. You know, a lot of people like to stress how gangster they are, stress how hard they are, how they're the realest nigga outside and all that corny shit. Nobody's talking about school, education. Now, when I say education, that doesn't necessarily mean working your way up to get a master's or a doctorate or something, nothing like that. It's just educated, just getting some, at least your bare minimum education. You know what I'm saying? I'm a college graduate myself. You know, I'm proud of the fact I got more degrees than a thermometer. But that don't really mean shit at the end of the day. What really matters is your experience. And you can't gain the experience in your certain industry or career path you decide to choose unless you stay focused and you commit. There's no such thing as dedication if the word commit is not the first thing you set forth. You know what I mean? With that being said, although, I've been to college, I got degrees and all that fly shit, I'm the first one to admit that college is not for everybody. I repeat, college is not for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Not everyone, not everyone holds the aptitude to be able to deal with a 4, 5, 6 course semester and have to, deal with the daily grind of keeping up and, busting your ass to get that 2-year, 4-year, 6-year degree, whatever it is you're choosing to do. But with that being said, that still doesn't mean that you're deemed from not being able to take advantage of getting educated. I know a lot of successful brothers and sisters that didn't go to college the way I did, but they took a trade. They took time to find out who was who and who could point them in the right direction as far as what line of work they could actually look into and dive in and get themselves educated. For example, like I was saying earlier, man, damn, it's fucking pouring right now on the Deegan. New York City, man, shitty weather all year round. Anyways, like I know one of my brothers, oh word? Let me see if it's my Wi-Fi. Let me know if you can hear me now. So I have two brothers two of my homies. They didn't go to college, but they ended up going into a trade school where they basically ended up learning how to install industrial air conditioners, like big ass, brolic ass air conditioners the size of a Honda CRV into these big supermarkets and shit. They went and they learned that, you know what I'm saying? And they're making decent money, you know what I'm saying? Decent money, well over $60,000, you know what I mean? Which unfortunately in New York City, that's not a lot of money, but for somebody that did not get a college education, that is all right. You know what I mean? That's good bread. And the fact of the matter is that the homie don't even live in New York. He lived down south. Exactly, D. HVAC is the shit. Exactly. Think about it. Regardless of the location, especially when it comes to businesses and, of course, residential areas, air conditioners and HVACs, HVACs, that demand is never going to go down because that's a necessity. And aside from being a necessity, it's a household and an item that you find that's much needed in these big companies and places of businesses where not only do they need to get installed, but they need the maintenance. You know what I mean? So aside from installing them, you're able to make a nice chunk of change and just maintaining and doing repairs. You know what I'm saying? I told my son about that shit. Yeah, brother. Yeah, and it's a solid career, man. It's a solid career. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you live down south on the West Coast where you at, like, yo, it be getting hot as fuck. You know what I'm saying? A lot of HVACs be fucking up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was just about to get into that. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head, man. For the last couple, and I'm glad you brought that up, Big D, because we've been going through a global warming crisis for the last 20 years, but unfortunately has not been forced and pushed to the forefront as of late, as of the last couple of years. Now, Al Gore, when he was trying to run for president, he did his damn near best as he could to be able to push that message forward and not stop in stressing how damaging to our kids and our kids' lives, and most importantly to the earth that we all have been able to fucking feed and live from, how damaging this global warming is. And that affects a lot of things, you know, from Mother Nature to the way we conduct and we decide to live our day-to-day lives. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, at the end of the day, especially if you're working, comfortability and being comfortable is key. So, of course, you're not going to be out here surviving without an air conditioner when it's pretty much warm all year round. Even in New York City, the past 2 winters, aside from like 2 or 3 nor'easters we had, it was in the 70s, 60s when it's supposed to be below freezing temperature, which is under 32 degrees. It's been hot as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, Al Gore definitely pushed that, but I gotta give this young girl her flowers, man. And if I mispronounce her name or if I can't remember her name, man, please forgive me. But there's a young girl. She's from Europe somewhere. Damn, I can't remember her name. Something Ginsberg. I forgot her name. Something Ginsberg or Jensenberg, something like that. I think she's from New Zealand or not from New Zealand. I think she's from Switzerland or something like that. She's been on the cover of Time magazine as the Person of the Year on 2 separate occasions. In addition to that, she has been interviewed and admired by so many politicians, scientists, celebrities, talk show hosts, for the mere fact that this young lady, 12 to 13 years old at the time, had more balls than a room full of men, in the sense that she went against the machine and used the most effective tool in 2021, in this century we're in, to be able to send out that dire message of our earth going down in a spiral. She went above and beyond by using the best platform on earth, which is social media. She started with her Twitter handle and her Instagram to basically give out her message of global warming reform, of communicating to regular folks, especially teenagers and young folks, on the little things we could do from day to day to be able to help Mother Earth and be able to help in shedding a few stalling the Earth and giving the Earth a couple of more years of life and existence in the huge deficit that we're currently facing. By putting her message out through Twitter and Instagram, eventually at the tender age of 12, 13 years old, being so articulate, well-spoken, knowledgeable, and well-informed, to be able to be invited to Ivy League schools such as Brown University, Harvard, Yale, prestigious universities over in Europe and England, to be able to speak and deliver her message of global warming and the huge detriment and the huge substantial and devastating near future we are all facing by not grabbing the bull by its horns and addressing these issues years and years and years ago, when fellow politicians like Al Gore and others in the scientific community were stressing and bringing this to the forefront. Unfortunately, we're basically heading into a path where, and again, someone could fact check me later on, but we're basically heading in a path where this planet, this Earth, by the year 2051 or like 2060, again, a mere 40 years from now. So again, we're talking about a Earth and a time in place where our kids are going to be on Earth having to deal with this shit. Our grandchildren are going to be stuck on Earth having to deal with this shit. Dealing with a planet that's not going to be offering as clear and as free abundance of clear, breathable oxygen around the Earth, around the world. We're going to be dealing with an Earth where most of its marine life is going to be suffering to the point that a lot of species, a lot of different types of marine animals are going to be extinct or close to extinction in the next 10 to 15 years due to global warming, due to the fact that certain places in the world, in certain times of the year and seasons where it's supposed to be cold, it is too fucking hot. It is too warm. I appreciate that, brother. So think about it, marine life. Think about you being a fish, or obviously you being any type of marine life. You know what I'm saying? Grizzly Moolah, salute, my brother. So think about any type of marine life in the world, you know? Certain seasons, certain times of the year, that marine life is basically counting on specific seasonal temperatures to be able to coexist, to be able to live, to be able to, most importantly, to be able to conceive and work on making babies, to be able to help with the reproduction and the continuing existence of their species. So if certain marine life is only able to make babies when the temperature in the waters is at 32 degrees, but global warming has the internal water temperatures at 60 degrees. What do you think is going to happen to those marine life? Those marine animals are going to basically be swimming south shore, north shore, east or west shore to find colder waters to be able to procreate in, to be able to live in. And what's going to happen to that marine life? On the way there, they're either going to meet other predators where they're going to be losing their lives, or they're going to lose their life en route. You know what I'm saying? So what does that end up? Why is that such a big deal? Why? Because the marine life is a very essential part of our world and our life. Is a very essential part of this ecosystem. Certain marine life is responsible for other members in the marine life and just all bodies of water and oceans and all of that shit to basically work the way they're supposed to work when it comes to cleansing water, providing food for us humans, and continuing to have the system up and running. With the loss of marine life, comes the near extinction from other types of animals, such as birds, which obviously are not part of the marine life world, but seagulls, in other words, that basically feed and basically live on a fish diet, where they're basically flying over bodies of water to basically go ahead and hunt for fish. They're gonna basically starve to death. And the animals that prey on those birds are gonna start to have no breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And where does that lead us? That leads us into a chain of events that's gonna land us as humans eventually being deeply affected. Deeply affected, most importantly, where it hurts, which is in our pockets. Why? Because the prices of a bunch of shit is gonna go up. If fishes ain't available to get caught, then the prices of fish is gonna go up. The price of seafood is gonna go up. That spike in seafood going up is gonna spike an increase in prices all over. It's a chain reaction. You know what I mean? That's the way the world works. So years ago, folks didn't put that much credence into the whole global warming thing, thinking that it was so far from reach of us having to actually deal with that as humans. But in ignoring that issue of global warming, we have not just gotten closer to dealing with our fate, but we've actually accelerated violently. We have accelerated the year in which we're going to have to suffer mass casualties due to the effects of so many decades upon decades of global warming. You feel me? Shit is serious, y'all. Let me read some of these comments. Yo, D Grants, Perfect Timing Podcast. Yo, that's my man Grizzly Moolah, man. He's one of the leaders in the sector, man. If you got a chance, definitely go check the brother's channel out, man, and subscribe, man. He be having some great content. Definitely be chopping it up and, discussing a lot of good topics, man, with the brothers and sisters up here in our sector, man. So definitely go check Grizzly out. Alchemy says, global warming isn't real. What's real is the trees being destroyed. Volcanoes have erupted for millions of years on this planet. HARP is the reason the weather is all messed up. Yo, Alchemy, in but so many words, my brother, I sincerely thank you for your input, my brother, because now you're adding further substance and further mass to this conversation. I'm glad you brought that up. Although you think global warming isn't real, hypothetically, let's say if it was real, it definitely impacts some of what you just mentioned right now. Aside from the trees being cut down by us humans, global warming is responsible for a lot of these forest fires. You know what I mean? Especially, D. Grants could attest to this. A lot of these fires over in California, man. You know what I'm saying? But aside from that, let's go with your theory that it isn't real. That's cool. You want to know why? Because you brought up another great point, which is, again, like you referenced, us knocking all these fucking trees down, man, to be able to keep up with the demanding industry, which is all about their profit margins at their bottom line. Do y'all know that the largest concentration of many species of wildlife, in addition to the rawest, purest and form of oxygen levels, is produced in the Amazon? And do y'all know that the Amazon, and again, I didn't think about fact checking none of this. We freestyling right now with the contribution of brothers like Perfect Timing Podcast, Alchemy, and everybody else that's in the chat. So I'm just throwing up numbers just for the sake of this conversation. But the Amazon 30 years ago, let's say the Amazon was at 100% of what the Amazon looked like. And the cumulative effect of what Alchemy just brought up has basically decimated and has basically destroyed and wiped out a large chunk of the fucking Amazon. Like above 25 to 30% of the Amazon is fucking gone, y'all. It's fucking gone. And I wish I was furthermore educated on the Amazon, so I could be able to, I know some things, but I don't want to misquote myself. But the Amazon is responsible for so much and so much of our world's vitality, man. And the fact that year by year, decade by decade, we're basically chopping these trees down and forcing all of these different types of wildlife to basically evacuate and find a new home, and basically tearing down the fucking ecosystem and fucking up the circle of life. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But yeah, man, yo, y'all brothers and sisters in the chat, y'all on fire right now with your input, man. Let's see what else we got here. Without trees, all life ends. That's a fact. Al Gore is a puppet. He sold out when he let George Bush steal the election. Okay. So alchemy, obviously it will be an assumption, but I could tell you're definitely heavy on these I think it's safe to say conspiracies, but overall theories on how certain things have developed in this country and who's been partly responsible and who's been pulling the strings on a few things. I'm definitely open to hearing your input on a few things for sure. Yeah, Perfect Timing Podcast. Exactly my point, man. Great point, for sure. Let me see. There's some knowledge right here. California wildfires date back almost 100 years. That's a fact. That's a fact, man. Unfortunately, man, I wasn't alive back then, so I can only speak on what I've witnessed as of late. But yeah, man, these wildfires is crazy, man. The point is, man, especially with new technology and the new demands on everything, man, this whole world is just heading down the dumpster, man. Shit, aside from it being sad, is extremely fucking, it's disturbing. You know what I'm saying? It's fucking disturbing, y'all. Yeah, these perfect times in the West Coast. Alchemy, yo, I appreciate that. That's a good look, my brother. That's what I was about to say, but I didn't want to misquote myself or feed the people wrong information. But that's what I was trying to allude to, and I'm glad you confirmed that for me. But yeah, the Amazon rainforest is basically the lungs to the earth. Now think about that. The Amazon rainforest, which is a huge piece of land that bears the most concentrated area of rainforest in the world, that is the main source, that is the lungs to this planet. So think about this, y'all. Throughout the past couple of decades, the Amazon rainforest has been depleted. Huge masses of excavations have been taking place, and shit has been wiped out further and further deeper into the Amazon. So food for thought, like my man Alchemy just brought up, if the Amazon rainforest is the lungs to this planet Earth, what the fuck do y'all think is gonna happen once we fucking continue to wipe the Amazon rainforest down to the point that we are hitting some vital lines of life, man? This shit is fucking scary, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad we're discussing this, because that's what we need to be talking about, man. Like, fuck all this other shit we be talking about. But yo, there's some real shit. We need to be educating each other, man. Like Alchemy has a lot of knowledge and a lot of facts that he's bringing up to the table. You know what I mean? That's why I appreciate brothers like Grizzly Moolah. You know what I'm saying? That gets up there and switches up his content and speak about some real shit from time to time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need more strong men, and specifically strong women in this sector, to take the lead and take the charge in educating one another, or at the bare minimum, if not bearing the aptitude or the education needed to be able to provide some level of knowledge transfer, be able to pull up to certain chats and certain content creators channels and beg for questions. Ask them if they're willing to do a live or discuss certain topics that are all aligned with what we're discussing now. Again, I know it's not a sexy topic. I know it's not dangerous, it's not gossipy or whatnot, but this is a direct correlation with our livelihood. Man, fuck that. A direct correlation with our kids and our grandchildren's livelihood. This shit is real, y'all. You know what I'm saying? And it's raining right now, or else I fucking flip the phone so maybe y'all could see through my sunroof. Yo, I'm driving through fucking beautiful greenery right now, a beautiful scenic route right now. And just to think that one day I could easily be driving down this bitch and more than half of the trees are gone. Like, that's fucked up, man. And again, us as human beings, we will end up feeling the accumulative effects of them depleting the Amazon rainforest in years to come. But there's natives that live within the parameters that are suffering and feeling those detrimental effects now. There is a substantial amount of wildlife that is dealing with the effects of the Amazon rainforest depletion right now. There's so many species of wildlife that are either close to being extinct or they're already extinct to begin with. Like, that shit is crazy. And it's not just in the Amazon. A lot of that shit's happening in India. A lot of that shit's happening in certain parts of Asia. You know what I'm saying? Like, certain elephants, are being poached for the ivory horns to the point that the numbers are just going down, man. It's crazy. I'm pretty sure that most of y'all, if not all of y'all, probably at least saw the trailer or ended up seeing that Netflix show, The Tiger King. But in that show, they ended up throwing some facts about how the exotic animal trade industry has solely been responsible for a rapid drop in the total global population of these exotic animals, of these tigers and lions. Think about it, y'all. These beautiful tigers and lions are depleting in global population, all because of illegal activities of certain vendors wanting to make a quick buck and selling a fucking tiger and a lion to a fucking basketball player, football player, or an actor. Like, how is that right? You know what I'm saying? Shit is crazy, man. Hold up, y'all. Same thing that happens to a person who smokes 5 packs of cigarettes a day. Yo, alchemy, great fucking analogy. Again, the continued widespread destruction and wipeout of the Amazon rainforest is equivalent to an individual who, in this analogy, is considered the Earth, our planet, is the equivalent of them smoking 5 packs of Newport Hundreds a day. It's gonna be a slow kill. It's gonna be a slow burn. But the inevitable is inevitable, y'all. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna come down. We're gonna quickly meet our fate. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's lung cancer, hypertension, some other shit, heart attack, strokes. Now, using that analogy to transfer over to what those items actually correlate and transfer and translate into when it comes to what happens on the Earth, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that affects the wildlife and the ecosystem, our oxygen levels, and yo, it's crazy, man. It's fucking sad as fuck, man. It's fucking sad as fuck, man. As a matter of fact, let me drop this link, man. Definitely getting into some heavy shit right here. Give me 1 second, y'all. Yeah, man, yo, alchemy. Feel free to pull up to the link, man, if you want, man. Definitely share some of your knowledge with the people. Let me see. Elephant ivory poaching is a $24 billion a year illegal. Yo, $24 billion a year illegal business. Fuck, man. And think about it. And that's the fucking problem right there. The key word. $24 million business. You know what that means? That means it's gonna be hard as fuck. It's gonna be extremely challenging for us to be able to actually come down on that and actually, try to stop these illegal activities of the poaching of elephants. You know what I'm saying? Fucking, what was I reading? There was some other shit I was looking into. A small mammal. I forgot the name of it. But they be getting poached too, like their shell and their exoskeleton. looks like a bunch of thick fish scales and shit, as thick as our human nails. Forgot the name of it, but when they're approached when they're approached by prey, they curl up in a bar and in a ball. But they ended up they're basically damn, I got the cops behind me. Let me keep the shit on in case I'm gonna get pulled over, y'all. But they're basically getting yeah, I think I'm getting pulled over, y'all. Okay, I'm not. Whew. That was a close call because I had some shit in the whip, y'all. Whew. Jesus, that was a fucking close call. Shit. Yo, my heart pounding like a motherfucker right now. Whew. Yeah, yo, like yo, I'll deal with a state trooper any time of the day, opposed to a fucking I mean, I'd rather deal with somebody else than a fucking state trooper, man. Shit is crazy. Yo, Perfect Timing Podcast. Salute, my brother.
Salute, bro. Yo, I'm so glad they didn't fuck with you. Yo, I'm so glad they didn't fuck with you, bro.
Yeah, you already know. Feelings are mutual, my guys. Feelings mutual, brother.
Yo, I had to jump on. I was gonna be like, yo, we doing an interview, so he can see you. Like, you feel me? It's professional, bro. We doing it. I'm like, as soon as you said that, I'm like, I'm jumping on. We doing an interview. I'm an artist. Check my channel. I'm like, you could verify both of us. Feel me? You know what I'm saying? We podcasters.
As a matter of fact,
we YouTubers.
Man, and I'm glad you're doing that.
We YouTubers.
Exactly. And I'm glad
real shit.
Yup. I'm glad you pulling me up on this because, yo, I'm tired of, always telling my people, my supporters about your channel, man. I'm glad you up here, man. So go ahead, man. Plug yourself in. Talk to the people. Man. Let them know what your channel is.
Man.
Know that. I'm going to mute myself.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, man. It's Perfect Timing Podcast, man. I got a brand new show called The Perfect Man Show. It's on Monday through Friday. Hold on, man. I got something in the background playing. It's on Monday through Friday, 5 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. It's a man's first channel. It's about men and God and families. I'm a father. I'm married, and I have children not in the home with me from a previous marriage where I was divorced. And I went through a time of depression, and I went through a time of rebuilding. So a lot of the things Lazo was talking about the earth and about Amazon, you could really apply to yourself as far as having enough oxygen to breathe. It was a time where I felt like I didn't have enough oxygen to breathe. And I had to get my mind and my spirit right. As a man, I had put my heart and my emotions first. And not to say that you shouldn't be, caring, but it's not the appropriate math for a man. And so when I learned to get my thoughts in order, whenever you hear someone say, get your mind right, get your thoughts in order, get things in alignment, where for a man, it's logic. And it's thinking with your mind first. See, I had things in reverse. So as above is so as below, right? So I was in my lower self. So when I found this spiritual thing inside and I climbed out of this hole, I built this person. See, before I was afraid of perfection. I was afraid of pursuing perfection. I was okay with mediocrity. I was okay with just existing. I was okay with just being okay. But once I found the spirit and I knew I was part of something greater, like Lazo was talking about today, then that's when I came with perfect timing, because perfect timing speaks to execution of a plan. Because see, I came up with a plan to get myself out of that depression, out of that feeling of divorce, out of that feeling of rejection. But that plan, I had to execute that plan. And part of that execution, what I learned to be successful in life, is perfect timing. And so when I applied my plan on YouTube and my audience grew, I found that a lot of people on the East Coast start watching my show, and the people on the East Coast have a grind. It's a New York state of mind. It's a grind. It's a daily grind. It's an everyday thing that you committed to. So I said, I'm going to do an everyday show to show respect for the individuals who bless me with their viewership. And I'm going to commit to a grind. And I'm going to give a testimony. I'm not a PhD. I'm going to give a testimony. I'm going to give my heart, and I'm going to give my mistakes. I call it wisdom. A lot of people get caught up in game. I call it wisdom because the life experience is what I want to share with my son who may not be in my house. My life experience is what I want to share with my audience. The wisdom, my L's, like I just said about my divorce, my wisdom is what I want to share. So I'll bring you in. I invite you to hang out with the Perfect Man Show. You know what I'm saying? I got a saying that I say. I say I'm perfect, but I'm not right. If you understand when I say I'm perfect, but I'm not right, you understand that it's a daily work. It's diligence and discipline. It's perfect timing to reach perfection. It's every day. I'm perfect, but I'm not right.
Yo, perfect timing, if you would, man. Just to give my listeners and those that are gonna catch the replay, just to give them an insight on your background, because I don't want them to get it twisted and to hear you be such a confident, articulate individual. You know, with a great aptitude and overall acumen on life. I don't want them to get it misconstrued and think that you were brought up with a silver spoon in the household and you didn't have any struggles. You know what I mean? Like, you've been through a lot. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, don't feel you don't have to share the whole story, because I wanted them, to be able to go to your channel and pick up on some of those stories and stuff. But if you could give a brief rundown of your background so they know who the person is, who it is that I have the pleasure of having up on my platform.
Thank you, bro. For sure, man. And I appreciate the love, man. You truly become a brother from another mother, man. I thank God for the opportunity to convene with you. I really feel blessed. I had church yesterday. I come from an inner city community in San Francisco Bay Area, Northern California, and I like the East Coast so much because I always felt like San Francisco was like New York, because we had Golden Gate Park, and the East Coast got Central Park, and it's extremely New York. It's extremely unique type of environment. It's a melting pot where you have people from all over the world. I remember a girl I had a crush on in elementary school. Somebody called her Mexican. She got into a fight because she said, I'm from Venezuela. So, you know what I'm saying? We got Laotians, and people, you can't just say Asian. You got to understand the differences, you know what I'm saying, between Chinese and Hmong and Laotian and Pacific Islanders. So with growing, and we all sound and talk the same, to where it's a culture shock that when they family visit, they be like, you talking black? Like, no, we're not talking black. We talking like we from the Bay Area. It's similar in New York. Everybody has the same New York talk. No matter who you meet, you might meet a Laotian or a Hmong, and they still sound the same. It's a New York vibe. So that's how it was growing up in the Bay Area. My mother drove the city bus. Another thing about San Francisco that was like New York, like we got every type of public transit like LA and Japan. There's only a few places that, because we're a destination city, people come here for vacation. So we got trolleys, we got trains, we got buses, we got everything you would think. We got underground, we go underneath the water. You can go from San Francisco to Oakland, you go on the train underneath the water. People commute, you know what I'm saying, on a daily hour. My mother, she had driving the bus, she had substance abuse addiction. So me and my brother, my brother and I grew up in the streets, and I jumped out in the streets kind of early, and I got into a lot of trouble early in life dealing with emotions because it was difficult for me to accept my mother's addiction. And to be honest, I didn't accept my mother's addiction for a long time. And part of my spiritual growth that I talked about before is being able to accept her addiction, which allow me to love her again. See, if you have an addict or alcoholic in your life, the first step is number one, acknowledging that they have the addiction, even if they don't. Because when you acknowledge that they have the addiction, it allowed me to see her as a human being. I had put this crown, this magical aura of mother around her, so I couldn't accept her as a human being with flaws. I have flaws. So when I was able to see her as a human being with flaws, I could accept her for her addiction, and I could love her again, but I could treat her in a way that would respect her and would respect my life, and I would no longer allow it to inflict pain on me. So coming from that inner city environment, it was a typical story as anybody in the inner city environment, but I got trouble real young, and I got shipped to Arizona to live with my father. And I would say to you or anybody listening, watching, male or female, that the reason why I'm the man I am, the reason why I'm alive, everybody I grew up with in that San Francisco, California is gone now. And only reason I'm here because my mom sent me to my father, and my father put a royal foot in my ass. Taught me discipline and the diligence. And sometimes I didn't like my father. He didn't care about being my friend. But he cared about making sure one thing was true, that I knew how to complete a task, that I knew how to go from point A to point B. And I think
that's when you had to go to that's when you had to leave from the Bay Area to go to Arizona, right? Which was a huge culture shock, right?
Oh man,
At an early age, man. Yeah.
Racism in Arizona, no racism in San Francisco. You know, first time I got called a nigga, you know what I'm saying, and all type of different racial epithets. White people disliking me for no reason. Yeah, it was a culture shock.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And everybody listening, and everybody's gonna listen to the replay again. Like, I've had the pleasure of bumping into the Perfect Timing podcast with my man Rose Gold. One day we were basically channel surfing, trying to basically find new people that got talent and got content. And we were fortunate and blessed enough to stumble upon the Perfect Timing podcast. And ever since then, man, like with no cap, I think I might have missed like 1 or 2 shows the most in the last what's it been, like 3 weeks. I've been in that bitch every single day, man. If I'm not typing in the chat like I heavily do, man, I've been there in the bushes, whether I'm driving or whether I'm doing a task or whether I'm working, I'm there listening. And I'll tell you, man, in these last 3 weeks that I've been tuning into his show, it's crazy because I feel like I know the brother. Like for real. I feel like I know this nigga, man. No cap. I feel like I know this nigga. And the reason is because he has such a beautiful and articulate style in which he delivers his content. Thank you, which is so effortlessly and so poignant and so precise when it comes to effortless connection with the audience. Like this brother, I'm gonna flatter you and say this young brother, doesn't need to try that hard to be able to connect with the audience. You know what I'm saying? Like 5 minutes of listening to what this man is speaking and what he's talking about is an instant connection. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's you connecting to a certain attribute of his character, you connecting to some of his hardships growing up, you know what I mean? Or you connecting with his current day-to-day struggles and his constant fight towards the top, you know what I mean? And being able to unwind the compass and letting it reset itself again, and learning how not to think with your emotions and your heart, and understanding that the thought process needs to first commence with the pensive state and your cognitive skills to be able to ascertain what tasks need to be set in which order for you to be able to distinguish what commitment and what you need to dedicate yourself to in order to be able to accomplish whatever goals you set forth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, this young brother has a lot to offer. And aside all of that, this nigga is hilarious as fuck. So now that we got all the official tissue shit out the way, this motherfucker is hilarious, like a pure genius, to the point that when I first stumbled upon his channel, I thought he was an actual paid comedian, like a retired comedian that was opening up for Kevin Hart, the Chappelle Show, and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And then after more, yo, on everything, man, word of mommy, bro. And after a while, I was like, nah, it's just his sense of humor. He has just a great sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, it's like the sense of humor, along with his message and along with everything else that he has to offer, all of that basically is a beautiful cocktail of a very, very solid, entertaining hour of content. You know what I'm saying? And like the young brother said, man, yo, the Perfect Timing podcast, the man show, is again now starting to become a weekly show. Eastern time is 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern time, right?
It's 5 to 9, I think, Monday, for y'all. It's 1 to 5 for me.
It's 5 that's West Coast time. 5 to 9 our time, man. And I tell you what, man, it's worth like, I know a 4-hour long show is a lot, man. I've actually stayed for the whole duration of the 4 hours before. But I tell you this, man, if you just jump into here 30 minutes, an hour, 15 minutes, or wherever he's at with the show, it's worth your time, man. Best believe that.
Thank you, man. I know somebody else said it's a long format, but I was just trying to look at other YouTubers the place where I want to go. I'm trying to visualize myself.
It's perfect, bro.
Yeah. Joe Budden does 3 hours. Coach Greg Adams does 3-4 hours. A lot of the prominent guys do 3-4 hour shows. So Angry Man does two 2-hour shows, sometimes two 4-hour shows a day. So it's like Tommy Sotomayor can do 2 to 3 4-hour shows in a day. Like, you know, if it becomes a job. Yeah, and the audience is there for him. Like he'll go live again and get $3,000 in the box right away, and another $3,000 donated. So, I'm not expecting. I would love everybody to hang out the whole time. So it's like a radio show. It's like people could put it on in the background while you commuting home, especially around that time. It's drive time, cook dinner,
fresh hour.
Yeah, cook dinner, drive. You know, commute, go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? That's how people entertain. That's how people absorb podcasts. My goal is to be that podcast or an alternate podcast. If your current podcast that you listen to is not on and you're in the gym, put on Perfect Timing podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I tell you this right now, man, get in that bitch early, man. Get in there now before this brother starts to blow up. Because I'm telling you one thing, yo, word to everything I love, this motherfucker's going to start to blow up very, very soon. And get in there now. So when he has 100, 200, then 1,000 or 2,000, then to 5,000 or 10,000 in the chat, make sure you get in there now. So in between those 1 to 2 or 5,000 people in the chat, he'll be able to recognize your name and give you a shout out amongst all those people, man, witnessing the show. Get in there now, man, for sure.
Hey, bro, you giving me so much love this morning. It feels so good, man. I needed it, man. You know,
you deserve it, bro. You've earned it, brother.
Thank you, man. And you this morning, man, I don't know what inspired you, man. You must have had your Wheaties, man, but you've been going in on the politics.
Yeah, man.
Then you went.
Yeah, I'm actually on my way. Yep, I'm on my way to pick up my daughter to take care of a few things, man. And on the way over there, man, I don't know, I just got that spark in me and started thinking about what are some of the things that we don't really talk about. You know what I mean? And that's when I started basically freestyle. Yeah,
you do music and you do the comedy. So I know you for that, and I know you for like being this brotherly love person who want to lift other people up. But this may be the first time that I saw your intellect, and I'm extremely extremely impressed. And it's just another facet. Like I said, you might need another channel or show to show people how dynamic you are. You know what I'm saying? I was really impressed. I'm like, this my brother. Like, he do the comedy, the rap, and the MCing. It's your name. But today, it was like you had a different passion about these topics, and you had esoteric knowledge. Like, not just surface knowledge. You start giving me knowledge that I didn't have. I'm older than you. So I was like, bro, I was really impressed, man. As a man-to-man type shit, you respect the man who had, like, you done done some reading and some research that's obvious. So I appreciate it. Yeah. I'm like, I was impressed with your intellect this morning, bro. Yeah.
Now, I appreciate that, man. And I'm also glad that, you know, I saw certain folks that I haven't seen before, like my man Alchemy, man. He came through in the chat heavy, man. And this is my first time seeing him. So, yeah, man. So I'm glad to see that, man.
Conversation does. That's what that conversation, broaden your audience. Even me, I'm like, I couldn't leave the chat. That's dope.
Right. Yeah, man. But damn, yo, I'm looking at the time. I'm about to end this, man. But yo, I'm as soon as I end this, I'm gonna go back and change the title, man. I'm gonna definitely put your name up there so folks that catch this on the replay know to expect you on here and have some curiosity as far as who the homie is. So definitely gonna put your name in there, man. So yo, first and foremost, salute to you, my brother. Keep doing your thing. Thank you for pulling up. Thank you for being in the chat. Salute to everybody in the chat. Alchemy, my brother. Yo, much love and much respect, brother. Thank you for all the knowledge that you shared with us. Definitely hope and I hope and I expect to see you more often, man. Definitely appreciate everything you had to say, man. And again, before I end this, yo, perfect timing. Before I end this, man, the floor is yours, man. Go ahead.
Oh man, I just was thinking, man, Lazo got all this shit. Let me take my shit out, man. Let me take my shit out, man. Yeah. You see that, man? Let me take my,
Let's go.
let me take my shit out, man. It's Perfect Timing Podcast, man. Shouldn't be perfect, man. It's the Perfect Man Show, man. Check me out Monday through Friday, man. 5 to 9 Eastern Standard Time, 1 to 5. It's the 5 to 9, man. When you're driving, you and you're having a good time, man. I be going up in the mix. Even Sunday, I had church, man. So we raise it up, man. We take it all every different place, man. So if you want to be entertained, man, you want to get some good edutainment, come see your boy, man. Subscribe to your guy, man. It's nothing but love and support, man. And I thank my brother here for shouting me out, man. It's going to be a good morning to everybody. This is the beginning of a great week. You know what I'm saying? It's Monday right now. We're going up from here. So don't let nobody take your joy. If one thing you take from this message right now, this is the start of your week. Don't let nobody take your joy. If you hearing this and you entertain and you feeling good after this, you keep that going. Come back.
Exactly.
With us. We're going to make sure you got that motivation daily to keep that going.
Exactly. That's the best way to end it, man. And you're like, yo, again, perfect timing podcast. Thank you again. And ladies and gents, like your boy Laz always say, man, eat good, sleep good, and fuck good. We out.
Hey.